with his own collection of guns. Big Bertha, as they called the semi-trailer truck leading the caravan, made a grinding sound, and a few seconds later the big rig rolled to a stop. Smoke billowed from the engine. The rest of the caravan stopped, and 4 people piled out of the semi. 3 took up a defensive position, shooting at the undead closing in, while the 4th went around to the front of Big Bertha. "Morons," Tank said under his breath. "Don't they listen to anything? The damn things are attracted to sound," he thought.
"What is it?"
Chloe asked, worry in her voice. "Just 3 idiots making enough noise to draw every undead within a mile," Tank said.
"Are you always such an ass?" Chloe asked.
"Does the sun rise in the east?" Tank said.
"Figures," Chloe said. "The end of the world, and I get stuck with him." "Just be quiet, Chloe," Eva said, then turned to Tank. "Can you see anything?"
"Not really. The engine is smoking, but could be nothing," Tank said.
"Or it could be bad,"
Garrett said, grabbing the AR-15 at his side and sticking it out the open window. Garrett began taking out the undead that were closing in on the caravan, most of his suppressed shots finding their mark. Tank looked down at the Colt 1911 handgun holstered on his right hip. It had been a high school graduation present from his dad. The handgun was black with rosewood grips and the skeleton of a dragon painted on the slide. He felt better with the handgun on his side and 3 extra magazines shoved into the various pockets of his green cargo pants. It was cooling down outside, the sun having disappeared below the mountains. He slipped his black jacket on over top his 5-finger death punch t-shirt and looked out the window. The undead were mainly taken care of for the time being, but if they didn't get that big rig rolling soon, they'd be in trouble.
"I'm gonna go see what's wrong,"
Garrett said after finding nothing else to shoot.
"I'll stay here and be ready to pick you up if all hell breaks loose,"
Tank said.
"Thanks,"
Garrett said, getting out of the truck. Looking forward, Tank wondered what had happened to stop them dead in their tracks. Until now, he'd thought Big Bertha was indestructible, especially after Casper. But what did he expect? The world was ending, and at this point, if things weren't going to hell, that would be more of a concern.
"Tell us about your friends you were talking to on the phone earlier," Eva said.
"They've been my best friends since middle school," Tank said. "2 of the only real friends I've ever had. They're brothers and way kick-ass. It'll be good to meet up with them since they'll be rolling heavy."
"Rollin' heavy?"
Eva asked.
"Yeah, like loaded,"
he said, glancing back at her, but he could tell she still didn't know what he was talking about.
"They'll have a lot of guns?"
"Oh,"
Eva said.
"That'll be nice."
"You have no idea," he thought as he noticed Garrett walking back toward them. "Hopefully, whatever's wrong won't be too serious." A shot sounded in the darkness. Garrett fell against the side of the green Ford Ranger in front of them and slid to the ground, blood soaking his shirt.
"Get down!"
Tank yelled to the girls as the night lit up with the sounds of gunfire. The windshield shattered as bullets peppered the side of his truck. Flashes of light from the muzzles of the guns shone in the encroaching darkness on a hilltop to the east.
"Hold on!"
Tank roared as he slammed the truck into gear. The tires squealed on the pavement as he pushed the pedal to the floor and the truck jerked forward. Bullets continued to slam into his truck, and he heard glass shatter in the back seat. One of the girls screamed.
"We need to get the hell out of here,"
he thought, swerving off the interstate and into a ditch on the left. The truck easily drove down the small embankment and onto more level ground, but out of nowhere the Green Ranger sped off the interstate right in front of him. He tried to slam on the brakes, but it was no use. He plowed into the side of the smaller truck and the airbags deployed, slamming into his face as the truck came to a screeching halt. Dazed, he opened the door and stumbled out, going down to his knees. His nose was bleeding, and he had small cuts in at least a dozen places. Looking back, he groaned. The entire front end of his truck was pulverized, and he wouldn't be driving it anywhere. A bullet whizzed by overhead, and he burst into action. Rising to his feet, he opened the back door, and Chloe stumbled out, bleeding from a cut on her forehead. Tank reached in and tried to pull Eva from the back seat, but she was still buckled in. Climbing inside, he reached for the seatbelt but stopped short. Half of her neck had been blown off. Cursing, he quickly climbed back out. 2 survivors, Bob and Selena, got out of the Ranger and began to stumble.